Welcome, dear listeners, to a world where magic dances in the air and hope blooms like the golden sunflower. Tonight, we journey to the kingdom of Florindale, where shadows have stolen the light. Join Prince Cedric as he embarks on a quest to restore warmth and joy to his people. Let your eyes grow heavy and your mind drift as we uncover a tale of courage, love, and the power of hope. Now, take a deep breath, relax, and let the story carry you gently into a peaceful slumber. Chapter 1. The Quest for Light. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Florindale, the sun no longer graced the land with its warm rays. An ominous perpetual twilight had fallen, casting long shadows over the once vibrant realm. The fields, once golden with wheat and rich with crops, now lay barren and lifeless. The rivers, once sparkling like diamonds, had turned cold and sluggish. The people of Florindale lived in a constant state of chill, their hearts heavy with despair. Prince Cedric, the brave and compassionate heir to the throne, could not bear to see his kingdom suffer. He spent his days in the royal library, poring over ancient texts and seeking answers. One fateful evening, as he leafed through a dusty tome, his eyes fell upon a prophecy. A golden sunflower with petals that shone like the sun could bring light and warmth back to Florindale. This magical flower was said to be hidden in a faraway land, protected by powerful enchantments and guardians. Determined to restore his kingdom, Prince Cedric presented the prophecy to his parents, King Cedric and Queen Elara. The king, though skeptical, saw the fire in his son's eyes and knew that nothing could deter him. Queen Elara, her heart filled with both pride and fear, blessed her son and handed him a locket containing a portrait of his family, a reminder of the love that awaited his return. With the blessings of his parents and the hopes of his people resting on his shoulders, Prince Cedric embarked on his quest. He donned his father's old armor, polished to a shine, and took up his sword, a gift from his mother. The people of Florindale gathered to bid him farewell, their faces lit with a glimmer of hope. As he rode out of the palace gates on his trusted steed, Lumina, he vowed to himself that he would not return until he had found the golden sunflower. Prince Cedric's journey took him through the vast plains and dense forests of Florindale. Each step was a reminder of the kingdom's once glorious past. His first destination was the ancient library of Eldoria, where he hoped to learn more about the prophecy. The library, nestled within the whispering woods, was a sanctuary of knowledge and magic. Upon arrival, Cedric was greeted by the librarian, an elderly sage named Orin. With her long silver hair and eyes that sparkled with wisdom, Orin seemed almost otherworldly. She listened intently as the prince recounted the prophecy and his quest. Nodding thoughtfully, she led him to a secluded chamber filled with scrolls and manuscripts. Orin carefully selected an ancient scroll, its edges frayed with age. As she unfurled it, intricate illustrations and runes came to life. The scroll spoke of the golden sunflower, detailing its origins and the trials one must face to obtain it. The flower it revealed was hidden in a mystical garden far to the east, beyond the enchanted forest and the crystal mountains. The scroll also spoke of the guardians of the sunflower, beings of immense power who tested the worthiness of those who sought the flower. Only a heart pure and steadfast could pass the trials and claim the sunflower. Eldoria, sensing the prince's determination, bestowed upon him a magical map. The map, she explained, would guide him through the treacherous terrain and reveal hidden paths. Armed with this new knowledge and the magical map, Prince Aric felt a renewed sense of purpose. He thanked Eldoria and set off towards the enchanted forest, the first major hurdle on his journey. As he ventured deeper into the unknown, the weight of his mission settled upon him, but so did the light of hope that he carried in his heart. With the map in hand and determination in his heart, Prince Aric set out from the ancient library of Eldoria. As he travelled through the kingdom, he saw the effects of the endless twilight more clearly than ever before. The once lush fields lay barren, the rivers slow and cold. Villages were shrouded in gloom, the faces of the people etched with weariness and despair. Despite this, hope flickered in their eyes as they watched their prince ride by, knowing he was on a mission to restore their land. Aric journeyed for days, the map guiding him through familiar and unfamiliar territories alike. His path took him through verdant valleys and rocky highlands, past ancient ruins and forgotten trails. Each night, he would set up camp and study the map, tracing the route ahead and committing it to memory. Lumina, his faithful steed, stood by his side, sharing in his trials and triumphs. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, as much as it could in the twilight, Aric made camp by a crystal-clear lake. He felt a presence watching him, something ancient and wise. His hand instinctively moved to the hilt of his sword, but he remained calm, knowing he was in a land of magic and wonder. Out of the shadows emerged a graceful stag, its antlers gleaming like silver in the dim light. The stag approached Aric, and to his amazement spoke. "Prince Aric," it said in a deep, resonant voice, "I am the guardian of the lakes. Your quest is known to the spirits of this land, and we wish to aid you. Follow the river that flows from this lake, and it will lead you to the enchanted forest. There, your true journey will begin." Grateful for the guidance, Aric thanked the stag, which nodded solemnly before disappearing into the night. The prince felt a renewed sense of purpose. The following morning, he followed the river as the stag had instructed, the water sparkling and guiding him towards his next destination. As he rode, Aric encountered creatures of all kinds. Friendly woodland animals watched curiously from the underbrush, while birds with vibrant plumage sang songs that lifted his spirits. The landscape gradually changed, the trees growing taller and the foliage denser. He knew he was approaching the enchanted forest, a place of both wonder and danger where few dared to tread. By the time he reached the edge of the forest, the sun was a distant memory, and the twilight seemed to deepen. The trees stood like sentinels, their branches intertwined to form a thick canopy that blocked out even the faintest hint of light. The air was filled with the scent of pine and earth, mixed with something sweet and elusive. Cedric took a deep breath, steeling himself for the challenges ahead. He patted Lumina's neck, and together they stepped into the forest. As Prince Cedric ventured deeper into the enchanted forest, he felt the weight of the ancient magic that permeated the air. The trees seemed to whisper secrets to one another, their leaves rustling with a life of their own. Vines and flowers of unimaginable beauty and strange luminescence lined the path, casting eerie, ethereal glows that guided his way. The forest was alive in a way that defied description, a place where reality and fantasy intertwined seamlessly. The further he went, the denser the forest became. The canopy above was so thick that only the faintest glimmers of twilight managed to penetrate. Strange, melodious sounds echoed through the trees, a symphony of nature that was both enchanting and unsettling. Despite the forest's beauty, Cedric remained vigilant, aware that danger could be lurking behind any tree or within any shadow. As he continued, Cedric noticed that the path ahead began to narrow, the trees closing in around him. He led Lumina carefully, ensuring his loyal steed did not stumble on the gnarled roots and thick underbrush. Just as he was beginning to wonder if he had taken a wrong turn, he stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood an ancient, towering oak, its bark adorned with glowing runes. Curious, Cedric approached the oak. The runes seemed to pulse with an inner light, and as he reached out to touch the tree, he heard a voice, deep and resonant, emanate from its trunk. "Welcome, Prince Cedric of Florendale," the voice intoned. "I am Eldros, the spirit of the enchanted forest. I have been expecting you." Cedric stepped back in surprise, but quickly regained his composure. "Great Eldros," he said respectfully, "I seek the golden sunflower to restore light and warmth to my kingdom. Can you guide me on my quest?" The tree's runes glowed brighter, and Eldros responded, "Your journey is a noble one, and the forest will aid you in your quest. But know this, young prince, the path is fraught with trials that will test your courage, wisdom, and heart. Only the pure of spirit can hope to succeed." Cedric nodded, determination shining in his eyes. "I am ready, Eldros. Please, show me the way." With a sound like the rustling of 1,000 leaves, the runes shifted, revealing a hidden path leading deeper into the forest. "Follow this path," Eldros instructed. "It will lead you to one who can help you, Orin, the wise owl. He resides in the heart of the forest and will provide the guidance you seek. Cedric thanked Eldros and mounted Lumina once more, setting off down the newly revealed path. The air grew cooler, and the sounds of the forest grew quieter, as if holding its breath in anticipation of what lay ahead. The path was narrow and winding, but the glow of the runes lit his way, ensuring he did not stray. As the sun set further, the forest seemed to come alive with a different kind of magic. Fireflies danced in the air, their light creating a mesmerizing display. The scent of night-blooming flowers filled the air, their fragrance both intoxicating and soothing. Cedric felt a sense of calm wash over him, the forest's beauty and serenity a balm to his weary soul. Finally, after what felt like hours, Cedric arrived at a clearing illuminated by the soft light of a full moon. In the center stood a grand ancient tree with branches that spread wide like a protective canopy. Perched on one of the lower branches was a magnificent owl with feathers as white as snow and eyes that gleamed with ancient wisdom. "Welcome, Prince Cedric," the owl hooted softly. "I am Orin, the wise owl. Eldros has told me of your quest. Rest now, and at dawn we shall speak of the path that lies ahead." Relieved to have found Orin, Cedric dismounted and set up camp beneath the great tree. As he lay on the soft moss, gazing up at the stars peeking through the canopy, he felt a renewed sense of hope. With Orin's guidance, he was one step closer to finding the golden sunflower and saving his kingdom. As dawn broke, the soft light of the early morning filtered through the dense canopy of the enchanted forest, casting delicate shadows on the ground. Prince Cedric awoke, feeling refreshed and ready to continue his quest. The serene beauty of the forest surrounded him, a stark contrast to the kingdom's perpetual twilight. He rose and approached Orin, the wise owl, who had been watching over him from a high branch. "Good morning, Prince Cedric," Orin greeted him, his voice rich and soothing. "I trust you slept well. We have much to discuss regarding your journey." Cedric nodded, eager to hear the owl's wisdom. "Yes, Orin. I am ready to learn how to find the golden sunflower and bring light back to my kingdom." Orin flapped his wings and settled on a lower branch, closer to Cedric. "The path to the golden sunflower is fraught with challenges, but your heart is true, and I believe you are capable. The first thing you must understand is that the journey ahead is not just a physical one, but also a journey of the spirit. You must be prepared to face trials that will test your courage, wisdom, and compassion." Cedric listened intently as Orin began to recount the tales of path seekers who had ventured into the forest in search of the mystical flower. Many have sought the golden sunflower, but few have succeeded. Those who failed did so not because they lacked strength or bravery, but because they lacked understanding of the deeper truths that the forest and its guardians hold. The owl continued, "To find the golden sunflower, you must first reach the hidden garden, a place untouched by time and protected by powerful enchantments. The garden is located deep within the heart of the forest, where few dare to tread. Along the way, you will encounter various creatures and obstacles, each meant to test a different aspect of your character. Orin's eyes gleamed with ancient knowledge as he imparted his final piece of advice. Remember, Prince Aric, the key to overcoming these trials lies in your ability to remain true to yourself and your mission. Do not let fear or doubt cloud your judgment. Trust in your heart and in the light that guides you. With newfound resolve, Aric thanked Orin for his guidance. I am grateful for your wisdom, Orin. I will heed your words and face whatever challenges lie ahead with courage and hope. Orin nodded approvingly. Very well, Prince Aric. Your journey to the hidden garden begins now. Follow the path to the east, and it will lead you to the first trial. Remember, I will be watching over you, and should you need assistance, call out to the forest, and it will provide. As Aric set off once more, the forest seemed to come alive with anticipation. The path to the east was narrow and winding, but the prince moved with confidence, his mind focused on the task at hand. He could feel the presence of the forest spirits, their energy guiding and protecting him. The first trial came sooner than he expected. As he walked, Aric found himself at the edge of a vast, shimmering lake. The water was crystal clear, reflecting the sky and the trees in perfect clarity. In the center of the lake was a small island, and on that island stood a stone pedestal with an intricately carved basin. Aric instinctively knew that this was the first trial. Orin's voice echoed in his mind. This is the trial of purity. To cross the lake, you must cleanse yourself of any lingering doubts and fears. Only then will the water allow you passage. Taking a deep breath, Aric knelt by the lake's edge and gazed into the water. He saw his reflection, but also the faces of his parents, his people, and the hope they had placed in him. He thought of the darkness that had fallen over Florendale and the suffering of his kingdom. With a silent prayer, he immersed his hands in the water, feeling its cool, purifying touch. As he did, the water around him began to glow softly, and a path of stepping stones emerged, leading to the island. Aric stepped onto the first stone, feeling a sense of peace and clarity wash over him. With each step, his resolve grew stronger, and by the time he reached the island, he felt lighter and more determined than ever. On the island, he approached the basin and found it filled with a golden liquid. He dipped his fingers into it and felt a surge of warmth and light course through him. The basin's inscription read, "To those who are pure of heart, the path will be revealed." Aric looked back at the forest and saw a new path opening up, illuminated by a gentle golden glow. He knew this was the way to the hidden garden, and with a heart full of hope, he continued his journey, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Prince Cedric continued along the newly revealed path, the golden glow lighting his way. The forest seemed to welcome him now, the trees parting to allow his passage, and the air filled with the fragrance of blooming flowers. The path twisted and turned, leading him deeper into the heart of the enchanted forest. Each step felt lighter, as though he were being guided by unseen hands towards his ultimate goal. After what felt like hours of walking, Cedric arrived at a clearing bathed in a gentle, radiant light. Before him lay the hidden garden, a place of breathtaking beauty and tranquility. The garden was enclosed by ancient stone walls, overgrown with vines and adorned with flowers of every hue. In the center of the garden stood a single, magnificent sunflower, its petals shimmering like molten gold. The sight of it filled Cedric with awe and wonder. He stepped into the garden, the air buzzing with the soft hum of bees and the sweet songs of birds. The ground beneath his feet was covered in lush, emerald grass, and the scent of jasmine and roses filled the air. Cedric felt a profound sense of peace and serenity wash over him. He knew that this was a place of great magic and power, a sanctuary untouched by time. As he approached the golden sunflower, he noticed that it was surrounded by a circle of glowing stones, each inscribed with ancient runes. The flower itself stood tall and proud, its petals catching and reflecting the light in a dazzling display. Cedric reached out to touch the sunflower, but before he could, a soft, melodic voice filled the air. "Welcome, Prince Cedric," the voice said. "I am Solara, the guardian of the golden sunflower. You have proven your courage and purity, but there is one final test you must face." Cedric turned to see a figure emerging from the light. Solara was a radiant being, her form shimmering with golden light. She had an ethereal beauty, her eyes like twin suns, and her presence exuded warmth and kindness. Cedric bowed respectfully, understanding that this was the final guardian he must face. "Solara," he said, "I seek the golden sunflower to bring light and warmth back to my kingdom. What must I do to prove myself worthy?" Solara smiled gently. "The final test, dear prince, is a test of sacrifice and love. To claim the golden sunflower, you must be willing to give something of great value. What are you willing to offer for the sake of your people?" Cedric thought for a moment, his mind racing. He understood that this was not a test of material wealth, but of his willingness to put others before himself. He reached into his tunic and pulled out the locket his mother had given him, containing a portrait of his family. It was his most cherished possession, a reminder of the love and support that had guided him on his journey. "I offer this locket," he said, holding it out to Solara. "It is a symbol of my family's love and the bond that ties me to my kingdom. I give it willingly, with the hope that it will bring light and warmth to Florindale." Solara took the locket and examined it, her eyes softening. "Your love for your family and your kingdom is strong, Prince Cedric. This sacrifice shows the depth of your heart and your commitment to your people. You have proven yourself worthy." With those words, the glowing stones around the sunflower began to pulse with light, and the flower itself started to glow even brighter. Solara placed the locket at the base of the sunflower, and a beam of golden light shot up into the sky, piercing through the forest canopy and beyond. "The golden sunflower is now yours," Solara said. "Take it and return to your kingdom. Its light will guide you home and restore the sun's warmth to Florindale." Cedric gently plucked the sunflower from the ground, its petals warm to the touch and radiating a soft glow. He felt a surge of energy and hope fill him. With the sunflower in hand, he thanked Solara and made his way out of the hidden garden, the path ahead illuminated by its golden light. As he left the garden, Cedric looked back one last time, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the journey he had undertaken and the lessons he had learned. The enchanted forest seemed to part before him, guiding him home. With every step, he felt the warmth of the sunflower spreading, a promise of the light and warmth that awaited his kingdom. Chapter 2. The Bloom of Hope. Prince Cedric stood at the entrance of the hidden garden, the golden sunflower in hand, its light illuminating the path ahead. The warmth of the flower filled him with hope and determination. Yet, he knew that his journey was far from over. To bring the sunflower's magic back to Florindale, he would have to pass through the garden's trials, a series of challenges designed to test his worthiness. The first trial was one of wisdom. As Cedric stepped deeper into the garden, he found himself in a labyrinth of hedges. The walls were tall and impenetrable, and the path twisted and turned with no end in sight. Cedric paused, recalling Orin's guidance. "The path is not always straightforward," the wise owl had said. "Sometimes the way forward requires patience and insight." Cedric closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and listened to the sounds around him. The rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, and the distant trickle of water filled his ears. He realized that the labyrinth was alive, and its sounds could guide him. Following the gentle music of the garden, he found his way through the maze, emerging on the other side where a shimmering pond awaited him. The second trial was one of bravery. As Cedric approached the pond, its waters began to bubble and churn. From its depths, a fearsome serpent arose, its scales glistening like jewels, and its eyes burning with intensity. The serpent hissed, "To pass this trial, you must show no fear. Only those who face danger with courage can claim the sunflower's power." Cedric stood his ground, drawing his sword. He met the serpent's gaze with unwavering resolve. "I seek the golden sunflower to save my kingdom," he declared. "I will not be swayed by fear." The serpent lunged, and Cedric deftly dodged, his movements guided by his years of training and his unyielding spirit. After a fierce battle, Cedric delivered a final blow, and the serpent vanished into the water, leaving the path clear. The third trial was one of compassion. Cedric continued to the heart of the garden, where he found a grove filled with sick and wilting plants. The air was thick with sorrow, and the flowers seemed to droop under an unseen burden. In the center of the grove, a small creature lay wounded, its breaths shallow and labored. Cedric knelt beside the creature, his heart aching at the sight. "You must heal what is broken," a voice echoed in his mind. "For only those who show kindness can truly wield the power of the sunflower." He gently cradled the creature and began to sing a soft, soothing lullaby his mother had taught him. The warmth of the golden sunflower flowed from his hands, and the creature's wounds began to heal. As it regained strength, the plants around them started to revive, blooming with renewed life. With each trial overcome, Cedric felt a profound change within himself. His wisdom had deepened, his bravery had been tested, and his compassion had grown stronger. The garden, now vibrant and full of life, seemed to acknowledge his triumph. The path ahead opened up, leading him back to where Solara awaited. "Prince Cedric," Solara said, her voice filled with pride. "You have faced the trials and emerged victorious. You have proven yourself worthy of the golden sunflower and its gifts. Now, you must return to your kingdom and bring light and warmth back to your people." With Solara's blessing, Cedric set out from the garden, the sunflower glowing brightly in his hands. The journey back was long, but he felt the power of the flower guiding him, its light growing stronger with each step towards home. As Prince Cedric moved away from the hidden garden, carrying the glowing golden sunflower, he felt a sense of triumph. However, the journey was not yet complete. To ensure the sunflower's power would last and truly restore Florindale, he needed to face the final trial set by the guardian of the sunflower. The path led him to a serene, sunlit glade, where the light seemed to dance on the soft grass. In the center stood a majestic figure, a being of pure light and energy. The guardian of the sunflower, Solara, awaited him, her radiant presence both awe-inspiring and comforting. "Welcome back, Prince Cedric," Solara said, her voice resonating with warmth. "You have shown wisdom, bravery, and compassion, but there remains one last test to prove the purity of your heart." Cedric approached Solara, the sunflower's light blending with hers. "I am ready, Solara. What must I do to prove my intentions?" Solara smiled gently. "This trial is not one of action, but of truth. To wield the power of the golden sunflower, you must reveal your deepest fear and your greatest hope, for only by understanding both can you truly lead with a pure heart." Cedric took a deep breath, contemplating Solara's words. He had faced many challenges, but this trial required a level of introspection an honesty he had rarely encountered. He looked into Solara's eyes, finding courage in her unwavering gaze. "My greatest fear," Cedric began, his voice steady, "is failing my kingdom. I fear that despite my best efforts, I might not be able to bring back the light and warmth that Florindale so desperately needs. I fear that I will return empty-handed, having let down my people and my family." Solara nodded, acknowledging his fear. "And your greatest hope?" Cedric's expression softened, and a spark of determination lit his eyes. "My greatest hope is to see Florindale flourish once more, to see the fields golden with wheat, the rivers sparkling with life, and my people smiling under the warmth of the sun. I hope to bring a future where darkness is but a memory, and light fills every corner of our land." Solara's light seemed to brighten, her smile deepening. "Your fears and hopes are what make you human, Prince Cedric. It is your ability to confront them with honesty and courage that makes you worthy of the golden sunflower's power." With a wave of her hand, Solara caused the sunflower to glow even more intensely. "You have proven your heart is pure and your intentions true. The golden sunflower will now bestow its full power upon you and your kingdom." The sunflower's petals opened wider, and a brilliant beam of light shot into the sky, dispersing the lingering shadows. Cedric felt a surge of energy and warmth, as if the very essence of the sun was flowing through him. Solara stepped back, her form becoming more ethereal. "Go now, Prince Cedric," she said, her voice echoing. "Return to your kingdom and let the light of the golden sunflower guide you. Remember, true leadership comes from the heart, and the light you seek is within you as much as it is within the flower." Cedric bowed deeply to Solara, gratitude filling his heart. "Thank you, Solara. I will carry your words with me and lead Florindale with the wisdom, bravery, and compassion you have helped me find." With the sunflower's light illuminating his path, Cedric set off towards Florindale, the journey home filled with renewed purpose and hope. With the golden sunflower in hand, Prince Cedric felt an overwhelming sense of purpose. The journey back to Florindale was long and fraught with challenges, but the light of the sunflower guided him, its warmth a constant reminder of the hope he carried for his kingdom. However, he was not alone on this path. Dark forces, drawn to the sunflower's power, lurked in the shadows, seeking to claim its magic for themselves. As Cedric navigated the dense forest, he felt a chill run down his spine. The air grew colder, and the forest, once vibrant with life, seemed to grow darker and more menacing. He could sense the presence of malevolent beings watching him, waiting for the right moment to strike. Despite this, Cedric's resolve never wavered. He knew that the safety and future of Florindale depended on his success. One night, as he set up camp by a small, bubbling brook, the tranquility was shattered by a sudden, eerie silence. the usual sounds of the forest, rustling leaves, chirping crickets, and the distant call of nightbirds, ceased abruptly. Cedric stood, his hand on the hilt of his sword, eyes scanning the shadows. From the darkness, figures emerged, tall, cloaked beings with eyes that glowed like embers. These were the shadow wraiths, ancient spirits bound to darkness, seeking to extinguish the light Cedric carried. The leader of the wraith stepped forward, its voice a chilling whisper. "Prince Cedric, the golden sunflower does not belong to you. Surrender it, and you may yet leave this place unharmed." Cedric's grip tightened on his sword, his heart pounding, but his voice steady. "This sunflower is not for me alone. It is for my kingdom, for the people who suffer in darkness. I will not surrender it to you." The wraiths hissed in unison, and the air grew colder still. The leader raised a skeletal hand, and shadows began to swirl around Cedric, attempting to snuff out the sunflower's light. But Cedric stood firm, drawing his sword and holding the sunflower high. Its golden light flared, pushing back the encroaching darkness. A fierce battle ensued. The wraiths attacked with swift, ghostly strikes, their forms shifting and blending with the shadows. Cedric fought with skill and determination, his sword cutting through the darkness, each swing accompanied by the sunflower's radiant light. The wraiths were relentless, but so was Cedric. With every blow, he remembered the faces of his people, the hope they had placed in him, and the future he sought to secure for Florindale. Summoning all his strength, Cedric thrust his sword into the ground, channeling the sunflower's power through it. A brilliant explosion of light erupted, engulfing the wraiths and banishing the shadows. The forest was once again bathed in a soft golden glow, the threat of the wraiths vanquished. Breathing heavily, Cedric retrieved his sword and knelt by the brook, splashing cool water on his face. The battle had been exhausting, but he knew it was only one of many challenges he might face. The path ahead was still long, but with the golden sunflower's light and his unwavering determination, he was ready to face whatever dangers lay in wait. As dawn broke, Cedric continued his journey, the sunflower glowing warmly in his hands. He travelled through the forest, over mountains and across rivers, each step bringing him closer to Florindale. Along the way, he encountered friendly faces, villagers who offered him food and shelter, and travellers who shared stories of hope inspired by his quest. The trials he faced, both physical and spiritual, had strengthened him. He felt a deep connection to the sunflower, its light a reflection of the hope and love he held for his kingdom. With each passing day, the distance to Florindale grew shorter, and the light of the sunflower grew brighter, a beacon of the brighter days to come. As Prince Cedric neared the borders of Florindale, the golden sunflower's light grew more intense, casting a warm glow that seemed to chase away the lingering twilight. The once barren fields now began to show signs of life. Patches of green sprouted where there had been only brown and withered plants. The rivers, sluggish and cold, started to sparkle again, reflecting the golden rays of the sunflower. Cedric felt the change in the air. There was a sense of renewal, of hope reborn. The villagers he encountered on his journey back looked at the glowing sunflower in awe, their eyes filled with wonder and gratitude. Word of the prince's return spread quickly, and people from all corners of the kingdom began to gather along the roads, eager to witness the miracle he carried. As he approached the capital, the grand gates of Florendale opened wide. The castle, once shrouded in gloom, now stood proudly, its towers gleaming in the sunflower's light. King Cedric and Queen Elara stood at the entrance, their faces a mix of pride and relief. They watched as their son, the prince who had ventured into the unknown, returned with the promise of light and warmth. Cedric dismounted Lumina and approached his parents, holding the golden sunflower high. The entire kingdom seemed to hold its breath as he planted the sunflower in the center of the castle courtyard. The moment the sunflower's roots touched the soil, a wave of golden light radiated outward, washing over the entire kingdom. The light was pure and warm, filling every corner of Florendale with its brilliance. The darkness that had gripped the land melted away, replaced by the vibrant hues of a kingdom reborn. Flowers bloomed in an explosion of colour, trees sprouted new leaves, and the fields turned lush and green. The rivers ran clear and swift, their waters sparkling in the sunlight. People emerged from their homes, blinking in the sudden brightness, and their faces lit up with joy. Children ran and played in the streets, their laughter echoing through the air. The elderly, who had endured the longest, wept tears of happiness, their hearts filled with renewed hope. King Cedric and Queen Elara embraced Cedric, their eyes filled with pride and love. "You have done it, my son," King Cedric said, his voice choked with emotion. "You have brought light back to Florendale." Cedric smiled, his heart swelling with joy. "I could not have done it alone," he replied. "The courage and hope of our people guided me, and the wisdom I found along the way made it possible." As the day turned to evening, the golden light of the sunflower continued to glow, illuminating the kingdom under a canopy of stars. The people of Florendale gathered in the courtyard, celebrating the return of light and warmth. Music filled the air, and a feast was laid out, with tables groaning under the weight of food and drink. Cedric walked among his people, sharing in their joy and listening to their stories. He was no longer just a prince, he was a symbol of hope and resilience, a leader who had proven his worth through the trials he had faced. The golden sunflower stood tall and proud in the center of the courtyard, a beacon of the brighter days ahead. As the celebration continued into the night, Cedric stood beside the sunflower, looking up at the stars. He thought of the journey he had undertaken, the challenges he had faced, and the lessons he had learned. He knew that the light of the sunflower was not just a gift to the kingdom, but a reminder of the strength and unity of its people. As the night deepened, the celebration in Florendale continued with an unwavering spirit of joy and gratitude. The courtyard of the castle, where the golden sunflower now stood, was a hub of festivity. Prince Cedric, still aglow with the sunflower's light, moved among his people, receiving their heartfelt thanks and sharing in their elation. The next morning, the kingdom awoke to the sight of a sunlit sky, a spectacle they had not seen in what felt like an eternity. The golden sunflower, planted firmly in the castle courtyard, continued to radiate warmth and light, its golden petals shimmering under the sun's rays. The streets of Florendale bustled with renewed energy as people went about their day, their hearts lighter and their spirits higher. Prince Cedric stood at the balcony of the castle, overlooking the vibrant activity below. The transformation of the kingdom was evident in every corner. The marketplace was bustling with traders and buyers. Children played in the open fields, and farmers tended to their newly thriving crops. The sight filled Cedric with a profound sense of fulfillment. He had succeeded in his quest, and his kingdom was finally returning to its former glory. King Cedric joined his son on the balcony, his eyes scanning the rejuvenated kingdom. "You have brought hope back to our people, Cedric," he said, his voice filled with pride. "Your journey has shown us the strength and resilience we possess as a kingdom." Cedric nodded, his gaze still fixed on the bustling streets. The golden sunflower may have been the key, but it was the collective spirit of our people that made this possible. Their hope and support guided me through the darkest moments. Queen Alara joined them, placing a gentle hand on Cedric's shoulder. "You have grown so much, my son. Your bravery and compassion have inspired us all. The light of the sunflower is a testament to the light that resides within you." The three of them stood together, united in their joy and gratitude. The kingdom of Florendale was not just a place of beauty and prosperity, but a symbol of hope and unity. As the days passed, the sunflower continued to work its magic, its light infusing every corner of the kingdom with warmth and life. Cedric spent his days traveling across the kingdom, ensuring that every village and hamlet received the blessings of the golden sunflower. He met with farmers, artisans, and villagers, listening to their needs and addressing their concerns. His presence brought reassurance and renewed confidence in their future. The bonds between the royal family and the people grew stronger, and the kingdom flourished as never before. The golden sunflower became a symbol of Florendale's renaissance, its light visible from every part of the kingdom. Festivals and celebrations were held in its honor, and tales of Prince Cedric's journey spread far and wide, inspiring neighboring kingdoms and travelers. The once dark and cold land was now a beacon of hope and joy. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a brilliant shade of orange and pink, Cedric stood in the courtyard, gazing at the sunflower. The journey had changed him, instilling in him a deep sense of purpose and responsibility. He knew that his role as a leader was just beginning, and that he must continue to guide and protect his people. He felt a gentle presence beside him and turned to see Orin, the wise owl, perched on a nearby branch. "You have done well, Prince Cedric," Orin hooted softly. "The light of the golden sunflower shines not just in your kingdom, but in your heart. Remember the lessons you have learned and led with wisdom and compassion." Cedric bowed his head in gratitude. "Thank you, Orin. Your guidance was invaluable. I will honor the wisdom of the forest and the light of the sunflower as I lead my people." As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Cedric felt a deep sense of peace. The kingdom of Florendale was reborn, and its future was bright. With the golden sunflower as their guiding light, the people of Florendale would continue to thrive, their hearts forever warmed by the journey of their brave and compassionate prince. The golden sunflower stood tall in the heart of Florendale, its radiant light a constant reminder of the journey Prince Cedric had undertaken and the hope he had restored. With the sunflower planted firmly in the castle courtyard, its magic spread throughout the kingdom, touching every life and transforming the land into a paradise of warmth and light. Fields that had once lain barren were now a tapestry of green and gold, with crops flourishing under the sunflower's benevolent gaze. Farmers worked joyously in their fields, their efforts rewarded with bountiful harvests. The rivers, once sluggish and cold, now flowed swiftly and clearly, teeming with fish and providing sustenance to the villages along their banks. In the towns and cities, the people of Florendale bustled with newfound energy. Marketplaces were filled with vibrant stalls selling fruits, vegetables, and handcrafted goods. Artisans created beautiful works of art, inspired by the light and colour that now surrounded them. Musicians played joyful tunes in the squares, and children laughed and played in the streets, their faces lit with happiness. Prince Cedric embraced his role as a leader with the same determination and compassion that had guided him on his quest. He travelled across the kingdom, listening to his people and ensuring their needs were met. His presence brought reassurance and hope, and the bonds between the royal family and the citizens grew stronger than ever. In the palace, King Cedric and Queen Alara watched with pride as their son ruled with wisdom and kindness. The castle, once a symbol of the kingdom's sorrow, was now a beacon of light and hope. The royal family held open courts, inviting people from all walks of life to voice their concerns and share their joys. The sense of unity and community that blossomed was unparalleled. As the seasons changed, the golden sunflower continued to shine, its light adapting to the needs of the land. In the spring, it encouraged new growth and rejuvenation. In the summer, it provided warmth and energy. In the autumn, it ensured the harvests were plentiful. And in the winter, it kept the cold at bay, creating a sanctuary of warmth and light. The tale of Prince Cedric's quest and the miraculous golden sunflower spread far beyond the borders of Florindale. Travelers and envoys from neighboring kingdoms came to witness the transformation and learn from Florindale's newfound prosperity. The kingdom became a symbol of hope and resilience, its story inspiring others to believe in the power of courage, wisdom, and compassion. One day, as Cedric stood in the courtyard gazing at the sunflower, he was joined by Orin, the wise owl. Perched on a nearby branch, Orin's eyes twinkled with pride. "You have done well, Prince Cedric," he hooted. "The light of the golden sunflower is not just in the land, but in the hearts of your people. You have brought them hope and led them with a kind and gentle hand." Cedric smiled, his heart filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Orin. Your guidance and the wisdom of the forest were invaluable to me. I will continue to lead with the lessons I have learned." Orin nodded. "Remember, the true power of the sunflower lies not just in its light, but in the love and unity it inspires. As long as you hold these values dear, Florindale will continue to flourish." With those words, Orin took flight, his wings carrying him back to the enchanted forest. Cedric watched him go, feeling a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. He knew that the journey had changed him and that the future of Florindale was bright. As the years passed, the kingdom of Florindale flourished under the benevolent rule of Prince Cedric. The people lived in harmony, their hearts filled with joy and gratitude. The golden sunflower remained a symbol of their unity and resilience, its light a constant reminder of the power of hope and the strength of the human spirit. Prince Cedric, now a wise and beloved king, ruled with a kind heart and a gentle hand. His story became legend, passed down through generations as a testament to the courage and compassion that had brought light back to Florindale.